Hello guys, Bobby Drives here. So today I've got a brand new 2021 Volkswagen Golf Mk8. I can't believe we actually got to Mk8. These Golfs have been around for almost half a century. Well, to be precise, it's like 46 years or so. So it's got a lot of high expectations. Join me a while to check all the features from the inside and outside, go for a drive and take it from there. Oh guys, by the way, I'm using a new Rode mic to tell me if my audio sounds a little bit better than my previous mic. And also it's really windy today, you can just tell by my hair blowing backwards. But if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you'll be notified for new videos, and don't forget to follow me at Bobby Drives. So guys, here we are with a Mk8 Golf. And I think it looks quite nice. I do think it looks quite similar to the Mk7. They've done a few tweaks, but overall, it's pretty much the same design as the Mk7. But it's been around for 50 years, so it's got a lot of living up to do. So let's see what a new Mk8's like. First of all, I'm going to take a trip down memory lane, going all the way back to 1974, when the first Golf Mk1 came out. That was a very legendary car. Most of these hot hatches today owe it to the Mk1 because it was the first of its kind that you could get 4 or 5 people in it quite comfortably, had a big enough boot to go away for the weekend, and had a juicy engine. So the Mk1 was a very special car. Then in 1983, the Mk2 came out, and that's personally my favourite Golf. I just love the GTI in there. You get the British Racing Green with the BBS wheels. You can get some European dub looks where you get like the rectangle lights on the front, and you get a one wiper blade which goes up the screen. Then in 1991 the Mk3 came out, didn't really like it, wasn't really a special car. It became too rounded for me, and the steering wheel was the size of like a bus steering wheel, so wasn't the biggest fan. And in 1997 the Mk4 came out. Now the Mk4 I actually liked a lot because it was my first car that I ever had when I was 17, and as you would, I lowered it, I put big wheels in it, I put K&N filters, some subwoofers in the boot, did loads of stuff to it. I wouldn't do it today, but the Mk4 was a good car. Then in 2003, the Mk5 came out. I think that was a huge improvement in terms of interior. The Mk5 really stepped up the game. Then in 2008, the Mk6, and now in 2012, the Mk7, which I think is a really nice Golf. And today, in 2021, the Mk8 has come out, and I really like it. I do feel it's very similar to the Mk7. They've done some tweaks on the front and the back. The interior is a massive upgrade, but we're going to go around and check out all the features. Now this Mk8 is packed with new technology. I don't think Volkswagen spent much time on the outside. They've done so much in the inside, which I'll show you guys, but it's a huge improvement. But going back to this being a Golf, I've always said to friends and family, if you're looking for a reliable car, always go for a Golf. They're well built, they've got good engines, good amount of storage or space inside, and a big boot. So Golfs are the all-around good cars. Now let's talk about engines available in the Golf. Now there's quite a few. We're going to start from the lowest, so you can get a 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol. You can either get that 90 brake horsepower or 110 brake horsepower. Then you can get a petrol 1.5 litre turboed. You can get either 130 brake horsepower, which is this one, or you can get it with 150 brake horsepower. Then you can move on to the 2 litre diesels. They're also turboed, of course. Now you can get that with 115 brake horsepower or 150 brake horsepower. Then you can get a hybrid, which is a 1.4 petrol turbo engine with a plug-in hybrid. That would produce 204 brake horsepower. If you did get the GTE version, that produces 242 brake horsepower. So I think that's quite a good car. Then you can move on to the GTIs, and that's a 2 litre turbo petrol, and that's got 245 brake horsepower. Or you can go for the big fat juicy one, which is a Golf R, and that's got 320 brake horsepower. Still again a 2 litre 4-cylinder turbo. That'll get you 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. A lot of people said they've done it actually in 4 seconds. So the Golf R, I'm hoping to get out on my channel one day, and I can't wait for that. Moving on to trim levels in this car, you can get quite a few different options. So starting with the most basic one is a Golf Life, which is the most basic Golf, still packed with loads of technology. Then you can get Golf Active, which has a few more extras in there. Wow, so windy. But then you can also get Golf Style. Now Style is the most fully loaded standard Golf. So you get leather seats, adaptive cruise control, lane departure sensors, heated seats, all of the bits and bobs. But this one is an R line, so it's not the full Golf R. It's basically the sporty version, which has got like a sporty front bumper, sporty rear bumper, black side sills, really nice Recaro suede seats. This has got the 17-inch alloys, but you can get an optional extra of the 18-inch alloys, which I would personally get. I really like those. But yeah, I really like this. It's got the sporty look, but you're not really having to push around a 320 brake horsepower like you would with a Golf R. Personally, for me, I would take the Golf R, even though it's quite a juicy car. I just love the power. Now, price-wise, they all start from around £22,000, and that's for the Golf Life. If you went for the Golf Style, they start from about £26,000. This one, the Golf R line, starts from around £29,000, but you can spec them up to about £35,000. Or if you went for the Golf R, they start from £37,000. And I actually did some messing about yesterday online to see how much we could get it up to. It went all the way up to £52,000. I can't believe a Golf nowadays is over £50,000. And don't forget, the Golf R is four-wheel drive, so you get to put all that power on the road. Whereas this, being the R line, it looks all fancy and sporty, but it's only a front-wheel drive. Also to note, with the 2-litre diesels, because they're brand new diesel engines, your car emissions have been dropped by 80% compared to the previous diesels. So I think that's a huge improvement, and VW have done a great job in making the diesels a lot more better for this environment. Going back to the 1 litre petrol or the 1.5 litre petrol, if you did get them with the automatic gearbox, the DSG, you will get mild active hybrid technology, which basically means you have a little electrical motor. It's also your alternator, it's your starter motor, but when you are idling or you're coasting, it regenerates power to supply more electricity to the car, therefore making it more efficient. So again, more improvements in the Mk8. What's also good to know, if you did choose a 1.4 petrol plug-in hybrid, you can actually drive just on electric only for about 45 miles. After that, the electric will cut off, but then you've still got the petrol engine, so you carry on driving. One thing I'd say about all electric cars, I think they're great for the environment, but you've only got electric. So when the car does die out, it's died out. You have to put it in charge. The good thing about hybrids, you can drive in a lot of electric only. When it runs out, switch back to the petrol. For me, I like the plug-in hybrids, but it just means you can keep on going. Now let's have a look at the styling of the new Golf. First of all, I say the back is actually really impressive. I really like it. Again, it's quite similar to the Mk7, but I think these lights are a little bit longer. They're full of LED lights, and I just feel it looks a lot more modern. But one thing I don't like, guys, and don't forget this is our line, so the sports exhaust look like this twin one here and a twin on that side. They're actually fake. They don't go nowhere. I mean, sometimes at least have fake ones which have a bit of a hole. This one doesn't. It's just plastic straight away, so really don't like that. But this being the R line, you do get this black bumper diffuser which goes around to make it a little bit more sporty. Another big change for Volkswagen, first time ever, you'll now see the Golf is actually under the VW sign. Previously they'll have them here or on the other side, but now they're putting them under the VW badge to make it look a little bit more stylish and probably a little bit different. Another thing to also mention is the actual VW badge. So previously you could actually feel the V and the W if you actually touched it, but nowadays it's actually like a semi sort of circle. It's all smooth and like flushed and shiny, so gone are the days of the actual VW badge where you can feel it. Now it's like a semicircle. At the top you do have a spoiler with a third brake light, and again it just helps this car look more sporty because it is the R line. However, the front of the car has had a lot of mixed reviews. Not many people like it. I don't mind it. I get what people say, the front lights do look a little bit squinted, but it's just a newer design. It's trying to be a little bit different from the Mk7, and it's trying to be a little bit more streamlined. So the front lights are a standard LED light, which is great. You can pay for an optional extra to have the LED matrix light, which is really cool technology. It just turns off certain lights or LEDs within a headlamp when cars are driving towards you, so you don't blind oncoming traffic. But these are just a normal LED lights, but it's really nice that VW give them a standard nowadays. This one doesn't have it, but this line here across the whole of the front does light up. Not in this version, but a lot of people don't like it. I don't think I'd like that either if I've got like some sort of boomerang light lighting up at night time, but luckily this one doesn't have it. But this being the R line, you can see the whole front bumper does look quite nice. It does look quite sporty. Now, it's a different bumper compared to like the Active or the Style. This one here has fake air intakes. From a distance, it looks like they're quite real, but they're not real. There are no intakes whatsoever, but it's a different front bumper just to distinguish that this is the R line. Another difference that VW has made on the new Mk8, the whole bonnet is more curved, so it's not as sharp as the previous Mk7, but it does improve air efficiency by up to 10%. So overall, a better design. As part of the R line, you do also get these black side skirts. Just makes the car look a little bit more wider, a little bit more sporty, and a little bit more flared out. And you also get the R badge logo on the front quarter panel, so you definitely know this is the R line. Moving on to the wheels. Now, in all of the standard Golfs, you get 16-inch wheels. This being the R line, you do have the upgraded 17-inch 5-spoke alloys, and it's like a gunmetal grey sort of finish. You can also pay an optional extra to get the 18-inch alloys, and that's like a diamond cut finish. Now, being in the back of the Golf, it actually feels very similar or the same size as the Mk7, even though this car is 3 centimeters longer. So I thought you might feel a bit more space. Admittedly, I've moved the seat forward quite a bit so I can show you, but what's nice, you've got storage pockets here, a storage pocket down here too. I really like that the door cars are covered in suede. The boot is of a decent size. It's not a upgrade from the Mk7, unfortunately. Still the same size, so you get 380 litres. You do have 40-60 split seats, so if you did put them down, you have over 1200 litres of storage. But what's nice, guys, if you lift this up, ooh, got quite a little bit more storage underneath. Let's now have a look from the inside. Now we're inside a Golf. This is where I can tell VW spent most of the time in upgrading it, because it's totally different to the Mk7, much better. First of all, you'll notice we've got two 10-inch screens. One is my instrument cluster for my miles per gallon, my speed, my rev counter. It's also an infotainment display, so it'll tell me what my sat nav is saying, what my radio is playing, if I'm getting phone calls coming in. To the left, I've got my infotainment screen, and it's all touchscreen, which is brilliant. I feel there's too many buttons in the screen where, you know, I'd rather have some certain buttons I can press, i.e. a telephone call, or going to my radio, going to my media, or things like trying to adjust my fan control or my temperature. It's just too much. It's all in the screen. But talking about the screen, it's brilliant. It's all touchscreen. It's really responsive. You get Apple CarPlay, you get Android Play as well, which is really good. But it's a very responsive system. It's really clear, really easy to use. And yeah, I really like that system. Another really cool thing about an infotainment screen, it's got your hand gestures, so I can give it a wipe and it will change. Give it a wipe again, it'll go to the next station. Give it a wipe again, it'll go to the next station. This is brilliant. How do I turn the music up? It's not like the BMWs where you've got to twist your finger. But yeah, it's got like some hand gesture sort of feature. That's cool. Just beneath it, you do have these touch sensitive buttons. So no longer do you have buttons for your temperature or your fan control. It's all like sensors. So I'd put my finger across and I slide it to go right to make it hotter, left to make it cooler. There's no touch buttons, nor is there a vibration, so you know you've done something. Instead, you get like a bong sound in a car, knowing that you've pressed a button. But yeah, it's all like touch sensitive. Underneath it, you've got your vents for your heating or your air conditioning. In the middle, you've got this never touch sensitive button. On the right, if you press climber, which is climate control, it will take me to my climate temperatures and what I want to do, if I want to make it colder or hotter. To the left, I've got a button which says assist. Now this is an optional extra in this car. This does have adaptive cruise control, so this will effectively steer for me on a motorway. It will let me know if I'm going out of my lane or to another lane, but also it will follow the speed of the car ahead of me. So if the car brakes, I will brake. Unfortunately, when you get down to about 20 miles an hour, it will make you take over because this is a manual. If you had the automatic gearbox, it could actually come to a complete standstill by itself. I also like the graphics and how it displays it on the infotainment screen. Another extra feature this car has is adaptive suspension, so I can press this button here which says mode, and I can change it from eco to comfort to sport, and also individual, so that means I can save it to where I want it to be. If I want the steering wheel to be more lighter, but if I want the pedal or the accelerator to be more responsive, I can tune it to the way I want it to be. In the middle, you've got a big hazard button. Now that's probably the only actual physical button in the car, and that's probably by law that they need to keep the hazard button as a button. To the left of it, you've got a P menu, which is all my parking sensors. So this one unfortunately doesn't have the cameras on the front or the rear, so it doesn't give me like a 3D view, but it gives me a good illustration of how close I am to a car next to me or a curb. So still a really good parking system. Just beneath all of that, I've got two Usbc charging ports. So again, it's giving two, one for the driver, one for the passenger. Underneath that, I've got a wireless charging pad where I can just chuck my phone and it'll put it on charge. Like I said, it's a 6-speed manual. I've got automatic handbrake, I've got auto hold, which is all normal stuff. Moving on to the steering wheel. Now I love the steering wheel. This being the R line, it's got more grooves in there. It's got two different sort of fabrics. It's very sporty feeling. I love that you've got the R logo just here underneath the airbag, so you know it's a special one. You've got about 15 or 16 buttons on the steering wheel. I think it's a lot to take in, but again, they're all touch sensitive, so I can just literally put my finger on it and it will just change the song, will turn up the volume. But these are actually got a little bit of a click to them. So that's one nice feeling, that the buttons on the steering wheel, where your hands are most often, they actually do have a click sensation. So that's quite good. Where the armrest is, you can slide it back or forth. If I lift it up, I've got two cup holders. One cup holder is just for a bigger cup. You've got another cup holder which will hold a bigger cup. But let's say you've got a smaller cup. I can press this button and then it will adjust and grab the cup that I've got in there. So that's quite good, I like that. Then you've got a bit more storage just after, and yeah, can fit a couple of Coke cans in there, which is quite good. Loads of storage. On the door cards I can put probably like a litre bottle of water. They're all lined with fabric so things don't rattle around. The glove box is of a decent size. Yeah, I really like it. Another cool feature that you won't be able to see is the interior lights. So they go across all of the doors, all across the dashboard, and it changes the colours in your infotainment screen or your instrument cluster. And you can change it from green, blue, yellow, all of the colours. But it's just a shame because it's so bright I can't actually really show you. But I really like the ambient feel that you get in this car with all the different lights. How cool is this, guys? I just was messing about with the infotainment screen and I clicked on vehicle, and you can actually click onto a button which says service, and it'll tell you when your next service is due, etc. But there's one button here where you can press and it says wipers in service position. So if I press that, it puts my wipers up to the top, meaning the mechanics can work a little bit more in that area. How cool is that? Another thing to point out are these ultra cool seats. Now it's only an extra in the R line, but they're like semi-Recaro seats, really supportive. And you've got like this suede which goes around, and then you've got the fabric in the middle. But what I really like, just by the headrests, you do have the R logo. Again, just to distinguish, this is the R line. And what I also like is just all of the things that you touch in it. It's all good like materials, like around the gear lever, it's like this soft matte material. Even going down the doors or on the dashboard, you've got this fake rubbery leather thing, but it's all of nice, good quality. What's also a really nice feature in this car, you can actually talk to it. So you can say, hey VW, I'm feeling a bit cold. And what it will do, it will turn up the temperature so you feel a little bit warmer. You can also say, hey VW, I need to go to the closest petrol station, and you just talk to it and it'll bring up on a sat nav and you just follow it, which I think is a really good feature. So many things you can talk to it to say, you know, what is the weather like today? It's connected to like Google, so it's very accurate information. But again, I suppose that helps because you don't have so many buttons around that you can actually say things to the car and it'll do it for you. Let's now take it for a drive. Got to put your foot down. Feels nice. And like I said, this is only the 130 brake horsepower, so it's not even 150 brake horsepower. I'd feel that'd have a lot more power and probably be a lot better, but this is still good enough. Like it. Now I've covered about 150 miles in this car, and all I've got to say is just a very well built car. I can't really complain. Even at high speeds, it feels solid. It's nice and sound insulated in here. You don't hear much of like traffic or noise outside, but it's just a pleasant car to be in. Like, you know, I've always say, it sounds like I'm repeating myself, Golf is the all-rounder perfect car. Works well in all ways. Another thing I really like about this car, so it's got this automatic sort of steering wheel. So if I'm driving normally on a motorway, it will take like 2 full turns, but let's say I'm in a car park and I want to turn around quickly, I've just got to turn the steering wheel 1 full time and it's full lock, so it kind of picks up on where you're driving or what speed you're doing, and it makes that steering a little bit easier for you. Also to mention, this is a heated steering wheel, so it's an optional extra. Not all of them have it, but I love it. I can actually press a button and my steering becomes heated, and we are in England. England's always like raining and it's cold, so yeah, really like the heated steering wheel. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have the heated seats. And this one does come with a 6-speed manual, doesn't have the DSG gearbox. Now the DSG gearboxes are automatic, they're really responsive, really quick. This being a 6-speed manual, it's not bad either. Now I've been driving this car for quite some time and I'm just averaging about 36 miles per gallon, so it's not bad. And this being a petrol and it's not even a plug-in hybrid, so I think that's quite good. If you did get the diesels, you can get up to like 17 miles per gallon. They just like sip at the diesel. They don't even take that much. The diesels are really good if you are doing a lot of miles. If you're driving up and down the motorway, I'd probably recommend a diesel. For me, I really do like the sound of the GTE, because that's a 1.4 petrol turbo engine, but with that plug-in hybrid, you've got 242 brake horsepower. And I know it's going to be really good on fuel, so yeah, I think the GT is going to be the one to watch. And this being the 130 brake horsepower, this will get you 0 to 60 in 9.2 seconds. I'm not going to attempt it, there's no point, but when I do put my foot down, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Obviously, I do like a little bit more power, so that's why I'm keen on probably the GTE. But overall, guys, I've loved driving this car. I've spent a good amount of time in it to get a good feel of it. And this is the sort of car that, you know, I could drive for ages in, like I've done already, and I don't even feel tired. And there's so many little things that I'm still finding out in the car, like the heated steering wheel and the way the car brakes for me. It's just brilliant. That's not a bad thing. Oh look, it was warning me that the car was braking, but I kind of knew he was braking anyway. But another thing is these semi-recaro seats have been so hugging and just reassuring. I'm like stuck in the seats. And it's all the other things. You've got great visibility in this car. I can see out the rear, all the front, all the sides really clearly. Look at that, the steering was just steering for me by itself there. Let me try and go out of the lane. No, didn't let me do it there. But yeah, overall, it's just a really nice driving experience. I feel really safe in this car. And yeah, I can drive for miles and miles and miles. So if you are looking to perhaps buy one of these Golfs, I would definitely recommend it. I would say the interior of the Audi A3, the new one, is still better, but it's very close to this, and this is obviously going to be a little bit cheaper, so if it works within your budget, fantastic car. So guys, that brings us to the end of my review. To sum this Golf up, it's like what I've always said. If you are looking for a good quality car and all-rounder, always go for a Golf, because I think they're just brilliant. This car's been super good on fuel, even though it's the petrol version. It's been super comfortable inside. I'm just watching my camera just in case if it does fall, because it's so windy. But yeah, like I said, it's super comfortable inside. It's got all the technology. And like I said, you know, when I'm on a motorway, this car almost drives and steers itself. If I'm going into another lane, it will warn me. So it's for the future. It's super safe. It's much more better in terms of emissions, and yeah, it's an all-round good car. Thumbs up for me. And guys, also let me know. I'm using a new Rode mic, so if it does sound better, please let me know. Or if you think it's rubbish, also let me know. But if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button so you'll be notified for new videos. Smash the likes button if you did like it, and don't forget to follow me at Bobby Drives. But until next time guys, keep safe and I'll see you then.